All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church, building community, inspiring growth, creating change. Here in the heart of Kansas City, we come together to create this hour of shared reflection so that we might be renewed in courage for these times and inspired to lives of greater dignity, higher purpose, deeper generosity, and more effective action. May the words and music and images that we offer today nourish our best selves, calling forth abundant wisdom and love, a love that has the power to overcome both loneliness in the heart and oppression in the world. Welcome to our service.
Arise, O souls, all arise.
Good morning. Welcome on this cold, chilly, return to winterish type weather on the last Sunday of the year. I'm Scott England, a member of All Souls. Whether you are here in the room or watching online, we're glad that you're here with us today. Your presence enriches all of us and our time together. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation. That means that our tradition is a large tent with rooms for many beliefs and approaches to the questions that matter. It's our values of inclusion, compassion, and justice that hold us together. We seek to build the beloved community, making room for everyone and creating a world where everyone's needs are met. You may be new here this morning. If so, welcome. We know that your first time attending a church, you may just want to keep a low profile and just check things out quietly, and that's great. We're glad you're here. If you are a visitor and excited to let all of us know that you are, we do invite you to raise your hand at this time. And welcome. Thank you for enriching all of us with your presence today. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you here today.
Our service this morning is a vehicle to help us move with intentionality through the liminal space in between the current year, which is ending, and the new one, which is beginning next week. Liminal space, threshold quality in between, where there is no difference between beginning and ending. First, I want to thank my colleague, the Reverend Karen G. Johnston, who created this service, and I have adapted. All of our readings come from the poet May Sarton, who seems to have a whole oeuvre of New Year poetry. Born in 1912 and died in 1995, Sarton was influenced powerfully by Unitarianism at the age of 10. Though Sarton never formally identified as a Unitarian Universalist, despite receiving many awards, giving the Ware Lecture at General Assembly in 1982, and being called by the UUA president of the time, our poet. An out lesbian at a time when this was rare, her writing was prolific. Now, this service is structured around a powerful 4-point spiral developed by environmentalist Joanna Macy in her Work That Reconnects. Point 1 is grounding ourselves in gratitude. Point 2, is honoring our pain. Point 3 is seeing new ways. And point 4 is going forth. And so we will adapt this for our liminal purposes. Now, this morning involves passing things around with your neighbors. So if you're sitting far from being around several neighbors, I ask you to please move where you can pass things around with 8 or more people. So feel free to do your moving around so that when I ask you to pass stuff around, you have enough people to not know where it came from. Oh, people are making new friends. I'm excited. So this morning involves writing. So if you are near someone who might struggle to write, you might offer your assistance. This morning also involves fire. So I put the fire extinguisher right behind the center table as a precautionary gesture. Also, at the time that we do the burning bowl ritual, pay attention to sleeves, scarves, and long hair. So we have just come to the end of a very, very taxing year. We are entering into the next one, a year that promises more opportunities to practice courage and compassion, to grow resilience and resistance, and to find out where our limitations are, and to grow them in service of bending the moral arc of the universe towards justice.
Our chalice lighting words are by Deborah Falk. The chalice lit among us is a beacon of hope in a world in crisis, a beacon of possibility made manifest in community, a beacon of warmth through our interconnections, a beacon of light illuminating our shared wisdom, and a beacon of connection by our being together. Please stand as you're able and join in the affirmation of our covenant. Together we affirm, goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Please be seated. We're doing something a little different this morning. So I would like to invite the young and the young at heart to join me over here. Please come directly here and pretend the table does not exist. Good morning. I'm so glad all of you are here. The Sunday after Christmas, you're on break from school and you came to church. I'm very excited. So, today is the last Sunday of this year. You know that the new year is coming up on Thursday, right? Yeah. Yep. And so while you go to your activities downstairs, the rest of the grown-ups and I are going to spend some time reflecting on this past year. So when I say that, reflecting, what does that mean to you? Yeah. Like you reflect your face off of a mirror. That is a really good start. Anyone else have thoughts on what I might mean when I say reflecting? That is okay. So, reflecting is thinking deeply about our experiences and the ways in which we are who we are. So when you talk about the mirror, okay? It's similar to that because if we look at our reflection in a mirror, we're kind of looking at ourselves, right? And so this is looking at ourselves, but thinking about ourselves on the inside. Does that make sense? Okay. So the hope from this kind of deep thinking is that we will notice something that we hadn't realized before. And maybe understanding that will help us make sense of things better and to make changes in how we do things in the future. That doesn't make sense to you? That maybe you would think about a time you got in trouble, okay? And then think about, okay, if I don't want to get in trouble again, what do I need to do differently so that I don't get into trouble? You need to be nice to your teacher, you need to be nice to your mother, yep. Follow directions. These are good things, and you know what? Grown-ups, we mess up too. And sometimes we do things and live our lives in ways that we don't really want to. And so when we reflect on the last year, to a certain extent, we're thinking about,
My dad doesn't want to go to work, but he goes to work.
oh, yes, somebody's dad doesn't want to go to work, but goes to work. He is not alone.
He's in Portland. He's been there for like 2 months.
Oh my goodness, their dad is in Portland.
Like a lot of months.
A lot of months being in Portland. Well, I'm so sorry, you probably missed your dad. Yeah.
Yeah, he missed Christmas.
Oh, he missed Christmas.
Well, he didn't miss Halloween.
But he didn't miss Halloween. Okay. Something important. All right, I'm going to move on now. So, the part of learning and growing as people is part of this reflecting. So, you know that your body is growing as you get older, right?
Yeah.
Well, your mind and your spirit can grow too. You can understand yourself better. You can think about what has happened and decide to act differently in the future. And the new year is a time when a lot of people do just that. So I hope that you'll take some time as you celebrate the new year to think about what you've learned over the last year and how you might want to change to be a better person. So now, before you leave, I hope that you will join in learning and singing the song that is about breathing and thinking about how we want to be. So let us all stand up in body and spirit. And Sarah, will you get us started? The words will be up there. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Thank you for joining us, and we will now sing all of you to go to your activities downstairs, and everyone else, you may be seated. Go now in peace, may love guide all your ways. Beauty be the blessings of your nights and days. Truth on your lips and kindness in your deeds. Care to follow where the human spirit leads. We're being less formal today. This poem is called Now I Become Myself, and it is by May Sarton. She writes, "Now I become myself. It's taken time, many years and places. I have been dissolved and shaken, worn other people's faces, run madly as if time were there, terribly old, crying a warning. Hurry, you will be dead before." What? Before you reach the morning? Or the end of the poem is clear? Or love safe in the walled city? Now, to stand still, to be here, feel my own weight and density. The black shadow on the paper is my hand. The shadow of a word, as thought shapes the shaper, falls heavy on the page, is heard. All fuses now, falls into place, from wish to action, word to silence. My work, my love, my time, my face, gathered into one intense gesture of growing like a plant. As slowly as the ripening fruit, fertile, detached, and always spent, falls, but does not exhaust the root, so all the poem is, can give, grows in me to become the song, made so and rooted by love. Now there is time, and time is young. Oh, in this single hour I live all of myself and do not move. I, the pursued, who madly ran, stand still, and stop the sun. The first stop on our 4-point spiral is to ground ourselves in gratitude. Towards this end, the ushers handed you a small folded piece of paper. The tiny white sheet inside is very delicate, and for later in the service, put that aside. Now, for our gratitude confetti ritual, take out this larger piece and the pencil you also received. And while Iona is going to play for a few minutes, you can consider something or things for which you feel gratitude. And when she finishes playing, I'll ring the chime to mark the time for ending your writing. And to help inspire you, I offer these words from the Buddhist teacher, Sharon Salzberg. I encourage myself to remember that being grateful doesn't mean I have to keep a gratitude jar that counts my blessings. It just means that I can reset my thoughts, just like in meditation, and choose instead to gently settle my attention on something positive. We don't erase the pain, it's still there, but we can broaden our perspective by opening to our pain and also opening to things other than the suffering we feel. I invite you now to write the things for which you feel gratitude. Okay. Thank you for writing your gratitudes. I ask you to now hold your paper in front of you and take note of its color. And on the count of 3, I want you to crumple it into a ball, almost as if you were about to throw it away. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next, since these little paper balls are our multicolored confetti, on the count of 3, I invite you to toss it up in the air and then catch it so that we can see all of this gratitude confetti, and I've got the best seat in the house. All right. 1, 2, 3. And now it is time for us to share our gratitude with one another. So this is why you're sitting closer together. I'm going to want you to pass your little paper balls around with the people near you and keep passing until I ring the chime. And when I ring the chime, double check that you don't have the same color paper that you had when you started. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Start passing around your papers. Oh, we're getting into this. All right, you have one that's not yours? Okay, as long as you've got one that's not yours, open it up and read silently to yourself what is written there. If there are many words on it, pick 1 or 2 that represent to you the larger message. And now you are the tender keeper of someone else's inspiration for gratitude, and someone else is the keeper of yours. And see if you can keep this paper with you for a while to remind you in the times when it is hard to remember your blessings. And know that as you hold theirs, they hold yours. And in this way, we live out our interdependence. Please remain seated as we sing meditation on breathing. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love. Our next section, our next stop on this spiral is honoring our pain. Most of the messages we hear in our cultures encourage us to push away the pain, to deny it or minimize it, to immediately turn it into some life lesson that makes us wiser or stronger. Yet it is important for our physical health, our emotional health, and our spiritual health to acknowledge the pain in our lives, the loss, the disappointments, the betrayals, the hurts. To give pain its due, that we might move through it and find what is on the other side. So, this is our second stop, to honor our pain. First, You will hear our chosen text, and then music will start. At that point, you are invited, as you are so moved, to come forward and add a glass stone to our weeping well. And as you do it, you may do it silently or whisper the pain that you are naming and honoring. You may want to hold your stone tight in your fist or close to your chest as you bring your attention to the task of giving the pain a name. As each of us adds our glass stone, the well will overflow, weeping for the pain in our lives and in the world. Here is our poem. New Year Resolve by May Sarton. The time has come to stop allowing the clutter to clutter my mind like dirty snow. Shove it off and find clear time, clear water. Time for a change. Let silence in like a cat who has sat at my door, neither wild nor strange, hoping for food from my store and shivering on the mat. Let silence in. She will rarely speak or mew. She will sleep on my bed, and all I have ever been, either false or true, will live again in my head. For it is now or not, as old age stilts in the stream, to shove away the clutter, to untie every knot, to take the time to dream, to come back to still water. I invite you forward when you're ready. I add this last stone for all of the pain that goes unrecognized, all of the harm not stopped, and for those not with us today, but would want us to honor their pain. For those of you who put your fingers in the vegetable glycerin, if they are still sticky, I have paper towels for you. Please remain seated as we sing meditation on breathing. The next section is seeing with new eyes and letting go. And we begin with the poem 1937 New Year's Poem by May Sarton. The earth feels old tonight, and we who live and stand on the cold rim face a new year. It is raining everywhere, as if the rain were mercy, as if the rain were peace, peace falling on our hair. Open your hearts tonight. Let them burn. Let them light a way in the dark. Let them one by one affirm there is hope for a staff. I say it will flower in our hands. We shall go garlanded. There is the fine, fresh stuff of faith for a coat. We shall go warm. We shall go on by the light of our hearts. We shall burn mightily in the new year. We shall go on together. O you who stand alone on the rim of the earth and are cold, I salute you here. This burning bowl ceremony we are about to do is the opportunity to shift, to see in new ways. It is also the chance, rather than clinging to pain, to practice letting it go. Rather than making a clean new slate for the new year, we can consider it as the Reverend Claudia Naylor describes it, leaving behind last year's baggage, not by denying facts or events, but by subtracting the emotional content so that we can get the lesson, get going, and get growing again. In a few minutes, as the music plays, you will be invited to reflect on what you want to let go of from the past year, or even from the whole past, and then write it down on the tiny special piece of paper that we were given. This is flash paper and is used by magicians to create a sudden flash of fire. Now, let me affirm that we are a rational people who highly prize reason. We recognize that there is no magic at work here. If you write the name of a despised political leader, just for instance, or a past event or loss that has already happened, you cannot and will not make it disappear. But if you are seeking to change your relationship to that thing you write down, wanting to not be so burdened by its presence in your life, seeking to shift the emotional energy you bring to it, this ritual just might add to the momentum you're already bringing. So perhaps you might entertain these questions as you reflect, slightly shortened versions of which Daisy will show on the screen. What parts of your life, what things, ideas, people, ways of living have become obstacles to becoming the person you want to be, the person you need to be? What's holding you back? What's getting in the way of you living as fully as you'd like to? What might you burn away? What will you relinquish? Once you have written what you're letting go, as you are moved, come forward to the burning bowl. Do not fold your paper. It will burn better not folded. Hold it to the flame. Let me just show you how this works. Okay. Hold it to the flame. That's flash paper. And as soon as it starts to take, just let it go, and it will just consume itself. We'll probably do this one at a time. I was going to say maybe a few of us could do this. I'm like, you guys I think would be freaked out by that. Since not all of us, Brian, please wait. We're not there yet. Since all of us are not necessarily comfortable with fire, if you would like me to burn the paper for you, I am happy to do so. Hand it to me with the writing down, and I won't be able to read it. Iona, will you give us music to reflect and then bring what we're letting go? These words are for you from the Reverend Victoria Weinstein. May what you have released here be forever gone from your spirit and cease to trouble you. May you be relieved and renewed, ever mindful that love is always more powerful than fear, and that compassion is key to freedom from resentment. Please remain seated as we sing meditation on breathing. When you came to church or tuned into the live stream this morning, something happening here touches you in a way you don't find elsewhere. You have made friends. You get something intangible out of our services or programming. Maybe amongst these people in this place, this community, you have found a home. You know that what we do here and how we affect the greater community matters. I hope that you want to contribute toward its continued presence and growth. Maybe if you itemize deductions, you'll be extra generous this final offering of the year. Or if you don't itemize, that you will be generous for all of the other reasons. The offering will now be graciously given and gratefully received. New Year poem by May Sarton. Let us step outside for a moment as the sun breaks through the clouds and shines on wet, new fallen snow, and breathe the new air. So much has died that had to die this year. We are dying away from things. It is a necessity. We have to do it, or we shall be buried under the magazines, the too many clothes, the too much food. We have dragged it all around like dung beetles who drag piles of dung behind them on which to feed, in which to lay their eggs. Let us step outside for a moment. Among ocean, clouds, a white field, islands floating in the distance. They have always been there, but we have not been there. We are going to drive slowly and see the small, poor farms, the lovely shapes of leafless trees, their shadows blue on the snow. We are going to learn the sharp edge of perception after a day's fast. There is nothing to fear about this revolution, though it will change our minds. Aggression, violence, machismo are fading from us like old photographs, faintly ridiculous. Did a man actually step like a goose to instill fear? Does a boy have to kill to become a man? Already there are signs. Young people plant gardens. Fathers change their babies' diapers and are learning to cook. Let us step outside for a moment. It is all there. Only we have been slow to arrive at a way of seeing it. Unless the gentle inherit the earth, there will be no earth. Our final point on the 4-point spiral. We started by grounding ourselves in gratitude, and then moved to name and honor our pain, and next chose to see with new eyes, letting go and releasing the old into something made different, perhaps made new. We now find ourselves going forth into the new year. We're going to use an adapted version of a Christian contemplative practice called Lectio Divina that asks us to bring our focus to a text and pay attention to which part or parts of the text speak to us, seem to call to us. The poem I just read will be projected onto the screen one section at a time. As you read silently, please notice which words or phrases catch your attention. And then in the moment, with no shame, speak them aloud into our shared space. As each of us is moved to do so, there will be voices speaking words. Some might be the same, some will be different, some will be loud, some soft. Some spoken just once, others repeated. Sometimes we are adding our voice, sometimes we are listening to the voices of others, each of us adding to a collective new experience of the poem. We will turn the poem into a collective jazz creation. Iona will be playing, so there will not be silence for those of you online. Although I do apologize if you are tuning in online that you will not be able to hear the people in the room because we don't have a good microphone for that. But please participate if you are online by saying it aloud wherever you are or even typing it into the chat. Let us open our hearts to what we need from these words. Sun breaks. air. Thank you for joining in this practice. I invite you to please rise in body or spirit as we sing Meditation on Breathing for the final time. I breathe in. we release this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. As you leave the auditorium, please drop your pencils and paper clips in the glass bowls. We have embraced gratitude. We have felt our pain, we have let go, and now we go forth. May you find in this year to come all that you need, all that you seek, and the ways to give your love far beyond yourself.